Imagine meeting around the water cooler to feel more connected during these current times. The world is in a tailspin right now, and many people are feeling the effects in ways they might not have imagined they would. Fears are running high, stress levels are increasing by the minute, and uncertainty is the word of the day. With the immediate transition to having to socially isolate for the interim time, many are unsure what to think, how to act, and in some cases, how to breathe with ease. The Inspired Choices Network has created an impromptu hour twice per week to help support, reassure, and offer assistance during this difficult time of transition. Please join one of our amazing hosts as they come online to share words of wisdom, encouragement, inspiration, laughter, and much more.
Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm so happy we are here today, all of us snuggling up around the water cooler. But hey, keep 6 feet. Keep you 6 feet. I am Christine McIver. I'm one of the hosts today, and I am joined by Danna Lewis. Welcome, Danna.
Good morning from San Francisco. Very sunny. It's really gorgeous. It's really, and I was just thanking Christine behind the scenes while we were in the air quotes green room of getting me up early, because it really is so beautiful to watch the sunrise, which I have not been doing lately.
There you go. So there's a beautiful way to start our conversation. What are you choosing that will bring a smile to your face? What simple, easeful thing are you choosing that will bring a smile to your face? And I just, I can tell you something. The sunshine for me is critical. And I discovered that a few years ago, Danna, when I was staying with someone and it was really dark where I was mainly staying. And I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I don't know what, I didn't realize this, until you're in a situation you don't realize it.
Yeah.
I absolutely need a window, to be near a window at the very least, just to have that sun coming in, and it makes such a beautiful difference. So wherever you are, I hope there is some sun shining for you, and welcome to our water cooler conversation. So we are here on the network just a couple of weeks ago. Time is flying, even though it seems very slow at times, but a couple of weeks ago we thought, what could we do? And this is what popped as part of the team conversation is, let's offer a conversation around what's going on for people. And, especially with the fear and the worry that's out there, and also the boredom. Like, people are starting to get bored. Right?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm so glad that we're doing this, the network is doing this. It's good to just hear what's going on for other people. So where I live, in San Francisco, normally, and I live in the northern part of the city, and normally this is a street that's bustling. Right now there'd be buses and food deliveries, and the restaurants would be getting their deliveries, and everyone would be, getting up and out the door, getting their coffee. I mean, there's 4 coffee shops on the street. And so to have it go from that, which, the lack of frenzy and havoc, I'm totally great with. But I do miss and sense it's just weird, right? It's just weird because it's different that I just saw 2 people walk by, and those are the only 2 people I can see on the whole street, which is bizarre for here. And there's only a couple of cars parked in the metered spots, and there's 1 delivery. And I don't remember the lot. They slowed down all the buses, all the transits at a very slow schedule. So it's weird. And for me, it's such a drastic visual change, right? I don't live out in the country or even the burbs where you're used to seeing less. I'm used to seeing a lot of activity, hearing a lot of activity. I have, wine bars across the street from me, and so they're closed except for takeout. So that's been very different. And there are moments where I'm like, it's surreal, and I'm like, what the F is going on? And then, for me, the bigger sense, there really is a sense of peace. It's the earth is, a lot of people, we've been talking about this, the earth is okay, everyone gets a hard reset, and the earth really, really required that, and I feel like many many, if not everyone, required a hard reset, whether they knew it or not.
Right. But let's be straight up here, Danna. I mean, there are people who are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
People, right?
Yep.
People are freaking out. People are going into complete terror. And, you know, I just think about what's going on for them in their bodies, what's going on for the people that they're isolated with. You know, how are they actually impacting other people? But most especially, you know, how are they impacting themselves? So let's be real. This is not fun. This is not a fun thing that's kind of just been whacked at us, right? Like, everybody's basically had this just, you know, it's like you woke up one morning and somebody slapped you across the face, and you're like, what? What just happened? And so we're all in this new space of, okay, it's a new reality. Every day we're getting more information about what's going on in our communities, in our countries, and so on, and what's changing. And at the same time, simultaneously, there's also some amazing things happening. But yeah, I got this email. Do you ever read Abraham Hicks?
Every day. It's like my morning cartoon. They have animated Abraham for all. So this is a great little tip tool. So on YouTube, there's animated Abraham, where I think there's a couple of different ones where they've animated these different snippets from Abraham, and so like that's my morning cartoons. I don't watch the morning news. Yeah, because it's
totally going
bright colors and bright colors and lively, and of course amazing content and the things that we need to be listening to raise the vibration and to be on the expanded side. Go ahead.
Here's today's. It popped onto my phone just as you and I start this conversation. It's like, I just love how these things are divinely designed. So it says, whatever you are giving your attention to already has a vibration of its own. Now, I'm saying all this in context to our conversation, okay? And as you give your attention to it, you include its vibration in your vibration, and then your point of attraction is affected. Okay, so let's break that down. So we know that there's a lot of fear and chaos going on out there. And just like with your example, you look out your window, what you were accustomed to, because let's take the word normal out of the conversation, right? What you were accustomed to was a lot of activity, a lot of activity. And so you could choose to include in your vibration the worry and the, oh my God, here's the example of this chaos that's happening. And you could include all of that intensity and fear and uncertainty in your vibration. Or you can shift like you did to, oh, it's so peaceful. And look at the sun. Right? And the really big thing for me, Danna, is teaching people, and I think this is one of the reasons we're having these water cooler conversations, is teaching people you really, truly have choice as to what you are going to give any airtime to in your head, in your body, and in your reality. You there with me? I cannot hear you, Danna. I don't know what just happened.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Can you hear me now? You can hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that was weird. I'm looking at all of, we've been around a while learning and practicing and facilitating, teaching so many different tools. And so, yes, Abraham Hicks. It also reminds me of Dr. Joe Dispenza and Access Consciousness and many others. They all basically say very similar things, like where you put your attention is where your energy goes, right? So we have choices to make. It's like I'm like saying it, I'm going, oh, that's so simple. And yet I get how hard and challenging it can be for people, and that's the work, right? That's the work that we've all done or been doing, and if you haven't been doing that, like now,
welcome to the world.
Great. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the big master class and the big, I don't want to use the word, right? With the big master class of you really got to be doing this now, because it's a huge part of the shift and the change. I mean, I don't know, some people will agree with that, and others that maybe are in the fear or the total science of it won't. But if everything is energy, which science has actually proven that it is, and we are putting our attention on the fear and the dis-ease and all of that, then what do you think we're going to get more of versus, you know, the sun and the gratitude and the tiniest of things that you get to experience right now, all the way to the biggest of things you get to experience right now.
And I think that the piece that makes this little email stand out for me a little bit more than where you put your attention, what you focus on. The piece for me is that you include its vibration in your vibration.
Yeah.
So you can be going along, you know, happy. You know, a lot of us that have been doing soulpreneur work from home, that maybe we live solo or we live with couple of other people. This is what we're accustomed to. We're accustomed to working from home. We're accustomed to being solo in doing our work oftentimes, and maybe we do some online connecting. Maybe we do a little bit of in person, but this is what we're accustomed to. But now, you know, we could be going along with our vibration being quite high and in a very happy, joyful space, and then we start to get inundated with all of the messages and the news feeds and so on and so forth. We've got to pay attention to, you could be in a great space when you're alone, but when you're actually connecting online or in person, what are you choosing to include in your vibration? And I think that's a really big piece that we're not kind of getting that message out there.
So, yep, it's making sense, and also for people, it's like it's automatically included because consciousness includes everything. It's just you have a choice when you notice energy shifting, like kind of what to do with that and how to navigate that and how to shift it, right? Because you can be aware. It's funny because, not funny, haha, but funny for me, it's been interesting. I'm like, I'm having a lot of, mostly, I would say like in the 90% trial range, a lot of ease with this. And I think a lot of it does have to do with what you're saying. Like, I'm kind of used to working from home and I've spent a lot of time by myself, but I need people, so to speak. Like right down the middle with being an introvert and an extrovert. So the FaceTiming and Zooming happy hours and all that stuff has been like incredible and very important for me. But like you have to be willing to go, okay, like I'm aware of something. Like there's energies here, and and so for me, this has been, I feel that's why I said masterclass, because I feel like I've been, I don't know, practicing leading up to this, of course, using all the tools that I use and share with my clients. And I'm like, okay, there's been things in the past that have come up that have been really my challenge points of like having a hard time out creating, or navigating those energies. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, all of that intense work is really paying off right now. And that's a choice that every person has to make. Like, and to seek the tools, which there's no lack of tools. I had a guest on my show, I guess it was about a month or so ago. He's a functional medicine doctor, and, he's like, there's no lack of tools. There's no lack of information. Like, there's such an abundance of that stuff, and so maybe you get convoluted or overloaded with information because you're like, what do I do first, or what do I use, and da-da-da. But that's part of I think that's just part of the fire hose that it all is like you just go in there and swim around and you start to play with tools and see what works and see what doesn't, and not make yourself wrong for any of it. Exactly. And, having conversations like this, even one conversation a day, helps to hit the reset button. We all get pulled in. Like, this is intense energy, and we've got to remember that. Pardon me. This is intense energy, and we've got to choose to have a reset. And sometimes talking with someone who
is in your circle of influence someone who, you know, you're on the same trajectory, will help to go, hang on a second, you just went in that direction. And oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, okay, I got to reset. And that's how quickly you can come out of that, and you can change your vibration. This does not have to be hard, and I think that's a big piece that it's important we get out to everyone. You know what? To create a new patterning does not have to be hard, and there are some simple things that you can be doing and choosing. So we're going to go for a break. When we come back, why don't we talk about some of those simple things, Danna? And also, when we come back, let's talk about what you're doing, what I'm doing, and then we'll take your questions. If you're in the chat room, please feel free to type in there. You can come over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and just click on the chat room on the menu bar, or please feel free to call in. We would love to have your questions, your comments. What do you know that we don't know? We would love to hear from you. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. If you're in Canada, where I am, you can call 613-800-8736. You can always Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Enjoy this beautiful song that we will discuss a little bit as well when we get back.
Seekers, dreamers are we, searching all of our lives, knowing more exists beyond this reality. Is now the time to be more of the greatness we truly be. Let go of your mind, let the question set you free. Do you hear the world calling? Global embrace to expansion. What if you are the miracle? You are the magic. What if you being you is the gift this world desires? What if you being you is the change this world requires? A global embrace, global embrace to expansion, reaching through all time and space, undoing every wrongness we've made real. The illusion fades and falls away. Is now the time to be more than we never imagined possible. Let go of your mind, let the question set you free. Do you hear the world calling? Global embrace to expansion. What if you are the miracle? You are the magic. What if you being you is the gift this world desires? What if you being you is the change this world requires? A global embrace, global embrace, a global embrace, global embrace to expansion. Let down your barriers and the thoughts that are the walls that bind you. Follow the lightness, let the question take
You are listening to Water Cooler Conversations on the Inspired Choices Network. Feel free to join us in the chat room by going to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and clicking on the chat room link. You can also call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, in Canada 613-800-8736, and you can Skype us from anywhere in the world. Just come on over to Inspired Choices Network. And now, let's resume our Water Cooler Conversations.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, you're listening to the Water Cooler Conversations, and today I am with my wonderful co-host, Danna Lewis. Hey, Danna.
Good morning. That's such a beautiful song. It's like a meditation.
Right?
You know? I was just sitting here, like, swaying. I was all zoned out.
Oh. And if really so let's hit the reset here. So you're listening to Water Cooler Conversations. I'm Christine McIver with Danna Lewis. And we're going to talk about each of us for just a little bit. But first, yes, Global Embrace, the song that you just heard on that commercial break, was written and sang by our beautiful Keisha Clark, who is a host here on the network. She's one of our executive producers as well. That woman's voice is just breathtaking. When she sings, it is a meditation. I've never heard anyone say that. That's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly the experience. But if you go back, and I played that song, I probably played that song at least 50, if not 100 times. I love that song. I have it on my iTunes, on my computer, on my phone. And if you listen to each of those words, I'm telling you, talk about divinely designed, Danna. When we put this water conversation together, our team was talking on Sunday, and it came out like, yeah, let's do an impromptu. What are we going to call it? And our new team member, Kim, goes, what about Water Cooler Conversations? We're like, oh, my God, that's brilliant. Yes, that's what we're going to call it. And then 15 minutes before we were going live, because, you know, sometimes you do things on the fly and don't think about the details, I said to Rhonda, I go, oh, my gosh, we don't have any commercials to play. I just went completely blank on that one, right? And I'm like, hey, okay, let's do this and let's do this. I go, oh, we should play Keisha's song. And she's like, okay, let me ask her if she's cool with that.
Gorgeous.
And it had probably been about 6 months prior when I had last listened to it. And we played it on that first show. And, oh, my gosh, we had chills. We had tears. The words that she wrote in that song were for the future. We're for now. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
No,
it just, like, talk about future. So my question is, what have you created today? What do you know that's coming to you today that is actually for our future?
What a bonus. Because people are always, I'm just saying, if it's helping me hearing you say that, because everyone's always like, how far in the future are you? How far in the future are you? How far in the future are you? Which is, I guess, a little bit of a superpower that so many of us have. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, so she wrote that song 4 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you know, I played that at a huge event, a conscious event. There was probably about 400 or 500 people, and I'm going to be straight up with you. 90% of those people didn't get it.
Oh, interesting. Well,
yeah, it was
too far in the
very interesting. Yeah, I guess so. But so, Danna, tell us about you. You know, take 2 or 3 minutes of the floor, and then we can jump back into our conversation. But tell all of our listeners about you and what you do.
Oh my gosh! Wow, lots of changes. But one thing that has not changed about me, meaning like I just designed a whole new website, which I'm madly in love with, which I'm always in love with my latest websites because it's just the latest version. It just speaks to the most relevant things. But one of the things that has been so clear and consistent is that whatever I'm focusing on and whatever I'm doing, it always comes down to, as the name of my radio show, Luscious Leadership implies, leadership in a very conscious way, conscious conversations and tools. And really facilitating and advocating and assisting people in creating a more conscious life and clearing whatever is in the way of that. And so having that clarity and clearing, I like to say energetic clutter, even physical clutter. Sometimes we have to remove people and things from our lives so that we can be in that space of creating more clearly and receiving with more ease. So, my book came out last December now, so what is it, 3.5 months, The Indisputable Gift of Men. And that's something that was so in the future when I wrote it.
Okay. May I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes, you may. I may want to, yes.
Okay. So if people don't know me, I'm a little bossy, I'm a little direct, and it's always because I want to support someone else.
Seems like your big sister. No, go for it.
Okay,
my big
Danna,
sister.
when you say the name of that book, you need to slow the fuck down. Slow down.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No, it's not that. It needs more space, so you need to say it slower. Yes. Can you please announce to the world here on March the 25th, 2020, the name of your amazing book, please?
I would be happy to. It is called The Indisputable Gift of Men.
Yeah. Because it's got to land like the indisputable gift of men. And Danna, I don't know how many times I've said it. I've said it many times. That is a fabulous book. And if people know me, and Danna knows me, I tell the truth. Like, I don't blow smoke. Danna's book will knock your socks off. It will open your eyes. And I don't care whether you are someone who has been doing this body of work, which we call consciousness, consciously doing consciousness upgrading or not. This book will open your mind larger, greater in the area where we need some focus than anything else out there. It is so beautifully done. I felt like, and I said this before, I felt like I was being a voyeur into your world, the way that you wrote it. And there were times when I was laughing, there were times when I was crying, there were times when I was like, ooh, this is naughty. I like it. It was so beautiful, but it touched my heart and it stayed with me. The message has stayed with me, and I appreciate that so much. Your book has contributed to my beautiful relationship and my relationship with men across the board. And thank you so much for what you've created.
Thank you for saying that. And so when so just so y'all know, like when I sent it to Christine, I sent it to a handful of people publishing. And I knew, because Christine, she's very honest and frank and all of that. And so when I sent it, I was like, I don't know if this is like just the way that it's written, and like I just didn't know if it would be her thing. I mean, obviously the consciousness is very much her thing. So I sent it with a little bit of like, okay. And then when I get this voicemail when she was so excited and in love with this book and reading it and picking it back up and picking it back up and thinking about it in between meetings, I was like, oh, that's awesome. How does it get any better? That really was impactful for me. And I'm getting that from the feedback's amazing. And the age range is amazing. I had a 22-year-old girl, I had an 80-year-old woman buy it, everything in between. And it's also been something where men are also really enjoying it. So for women, it really is about empowering you. And when you read this, it's not just empowering yourself in the area of love, which it very much is, but when you tap into one area and begin to empower yourself and shift things, that filters and permeates across every area of your life into all the spaces of your life. And so that to say that also, so I have a signature coaching program that goes with that. And I also, I have all my specialties that I love. I'm great with career coaching. I have a 30-year business career, and I love just the whole life well-being coaching. And the signature is The Gift of Men and the book and the coaching. And so I want people to know that if they go to my website, they can download Chapter 1 for free right now. So that's my new gift. And I've been getting lots of downloads on that. So I'm very excited to be offering that. DannaLewis.com. So www.DannaLewis.com. So that I'm just like saying, go there because you can get the chapter, you can learn about the coaching program, you can connect with me, you can schedule a connection call, right? You can buy the book through there. There's like everything's there. It's very elegant.
I just jumped over to your website. Ooh,
I know.
I'm not going to tell people what I say, but wow.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
That's something I've never seen
That's
before.
The energy. Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
Yes.
So
And
cool.
I don't want to leave the men out. I want to say something about the men because, it is geared towards women because I'm a woman. I'm a heterosexual woman. So my experience in this gift and all of it is geared towards women from my perspective. And yet I've had so many men be interested. So many men read it. So many men are like, oh, my God, thank you. We thought you all hated us, which is a little bit heartbreaking. And, isn't now the time to really focus on some of these things? Like, for those of you that are home for however long you're home, and even if you're not, even if it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it is, isn't now the time to change some of this crap and really, go deep and make the shift so that you have this, fucking soul-satisfying love life. And so you are appreciating your man, or if you're single, you're back in that space where you're letting go of resentment and heartbreak and whatever the F else was holding you back. Like, come on. With everything that's going on in the world, nothing should be holding anyone back. It's time to clear that crap. Like I said, masterclass.
The fact is, exactly, the fact of the matter is relationships today, going forward, are going to be created very differently. And we had this very sobering conversation with my sister and brother-in-law. And we talked about what's going on in families where someone's abusive. And now they're all confined in the house together. Children that they're away for their safety close in schools, and now they're not there. They're not able to get away. And, maybe even for a partner where they had safety when they left the home, that they got away from the abuser. Or maybe there's relationships where the partners are staying together just for the children, and there's a tension between the parents or the partner. Relationships are going to be very, very critical going forward. And so your book is definitely a beautiful gift to support people in relationships. So it's gorgeous. Definitely check the book out. Definitely check out the book. It's phenomenal. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am the CEO of the Inspired Choices Network here, where Danna and I are speaking. This beautiful creation came to me. Let me see. We launched the Inspired Choices Network in 2017, so that we're in our 4th year, and we have, I've been producing since 2014, and so we've been producing and we've had shows. Danna, when did you first come on? Was it 2015?
Yeah, 2016, September of 2016.
September 2016, okay. So I started producing January of 2014. I actually started in radio in February, I believe it was, of 2011. And we created this, and it just continued to evolve. And next thing I know, I was producing, and the next thing I know, I'm the least owner of that platform we were on previously, which was A2Z.fm. And so grateful for everything that they contributed to the future of radio and my future. And then my business was really pulling me to create this network. And so it was created in 2016. So it was just as you were coming on, Danna, that we created it. And then we launched in January of 2017. And what I love to do is I amplify your message and lead you to your desires. So a lot of times, and I don't recall our first conversation, Danna, but a lot of times when I'm speaking with people, I can see where they can go. I can see how they can step out greater in the world in the areas that they aren't even aware of. And I help to amplify your message. And so whether it's here having a radio show and a podcast with us, or it's amplifying your message in your relationship, or it's amplifying your message at work. I love to work with individuals one-on-one. It lights me up to see someone shine. And I work with couples as well, whether it's in a relationship or it's in a business venture, whatever it is. If you have something you're trying to get to, I combine both my technical skills and my coaching skills to come together in a pretty different, unique combination. And I help to peel away the bullshit at the same time. So,
I love that.
That's kind of the thing that I do. So before we went for our last break, we were talking about some tools. So one of the tools, I think that you actually said when we first got on the line when we were waiting to create the show this morning, was that you wanted to get up earlier in the morning, and how the sunshine, really spoke to you. That is actually a fabulous tool that you were pointing to in connecting in with nature.
I agree. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Christine, I'm going to interrupt you because you said all this fabulous about you, which I agree with 1,000,000,000%. And you didn't give people your website. So I'm going to give people your website. And then we're going to talk about nature. So Christine's website is www.inspiredchoices.ca. So INSPIRED choices, CHOICES.ca. A little bit different. So I want people to know that so they can find you and connect with you.
Can find me, and they can find me and you through inspiredchoicesnetworks.com as well. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
We're pretty easy to find.
We are easy. It's true. We're easy. So one of the tools that I think is such a good thing is nature. And what can you reach for? What can you connect with in nature? If you are unable to go outside of your home, what can you do? And,
I have a really good tip for that.
Go ahead.
So this is going to sound weird, but because I live in the city, and I actually have to my right, I do have a view of the Presidio of a tree line, which I'm super grateful for, and less than a 10-minute walk to a whole bunch of nature that I've been going for walks every day. If you, this sounds so weird, but if you have plants, which most of them have at least one plant, there have been times where I will stick my face in the plant so I can smell the dirt, because smelling the dirt releases endorphins for me. I'm telling you, if y'all live in a city like this, is a great little thing. Nothing beats putting your feet on the earth and walking and feeling the sun on your body. And I'll scooch up next to the window as close as I can get for when the sun streams in. But I will stick my head in a plant and smell some dirt. It really works.
I love that. Now, I've heard of people putting their fingers into the dirt. Never a house plant, but why not? Why not? But putting your nose in it, that's awesome.
Try it. That's my challenge. Try it. Stick your face in one of your plants, as long as it's not a cactus, and smell some dirt.
That's awesome. Well, I think, a big piece of what you're saying, Danna, is connecting.
Yes.
connecting, right? So even,
senses.
that's a really cool thing. How many senses can you utilize for 2 minutes? For 2 minutes to connect with nature wherever you are. But I'm looking at this beautiful plant. I'm actually self-isolating in my great niece's apartment. She generously offered this to me, so this is fantastic, and I get to discover a new location. And I connected with this beautiful plant yesterday, and it needed to have some of the leaves taken down that they had died, and so you can connect with the plants visually as long as you have your sight.
Mm-hmm.
You can connect with the touch.
Mm-hmm.
You can touch the plant. You can touch the branches. The branches have some really coarseness to them and some sharpness to them, so that's a really cool thing. And you can smell it. You can smell the plant, right? I don't know that I would taste the plant.
Unless it was an herb. Some of us have herb plants.
Right?
Mine all died, and the Ziva kitty was eating all the herbs. But I do have grass. So I have a little pot of kitty grass that one of her aunties got her, and so I replace it usually once a month. And so that's another thing. Like, it's literally grass. Like, I can touch it, and I've actually had to trim it because it grows really long. So I'm watering and trimming this kitty grass for her to eat, and that's been actually also really amazing. It's been a huge gift to me.
That's so cool. My daughter has that grass. First time I'm like, why do you have a box of grass?
It's amazing, right? Yeah, right. But right now, Christine, like more than ever, like especially again for city dwellers, like it's amazing to have this little patch of grass in this container and watching Ziva, she sticks her whole face in there and she grazes on it throughout the day, and nature is our
Connecting with nature is still possible for all of us, whether we can go outside or not. So I'm so glad we talked about that. And, even just sitting near a window and connecting with the sun or connecting with the stars and the moon, these things are very, very possible, and they are nurturing to all of us. So it's about taking care of you. This is a time that we all need to be more selfish. And I say that, and a lot of people go, oh my God, that's terrible. No, you got to take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. And if your mindset, if your energetic vibration, if your attitude stinks, you are not going to contribute to what is really required right now. So with that, we're going to go to our last break of the show, and we come back, we'll see where else we're going to go. So you're listening to Water Cooler Conversations with Danna Lewis and Christine McIver. We'll be right back.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You were listening to Water Cooler Conversations on the Inspired Choices Network. Feel free to join us in the chat room by going to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and clicking on the chat room link. You can also call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, in Canada 613-800-8736, and you can Skype us from anywhere in the world. Just come on over to Inspired Choices Network. And now let's resume our Water Cooler Conversations.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We are here with Danna Lewis and myself, Christine McIver, talking about the Water Cooler Conversations. And what we are looking for is what can we contribute to everyone's world, and what questions do you have that you don't feel maybe safe asking anybody else? You can email any of us. You can email Danna at dannalewis.com, and you can email myself, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. The really cool thing about coming together is we get to learn from each other. So while you're listening to myself, Danna, or any of our hosts here on our network, one of the biggest messages that we at the network want to send out to every single person is what you know is unique and different to anyone else. And we absolutely welcome your input. We want to hear what you know, because we all receive knowledge, and I don't mean mental knowledge. I mean, we're getting downloads from source all of the time. And this is such a big thing. Like, Danna, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but this kind of came to me about a year or so ago when I went to do a talk. And what popped in was, until your voice is added to the conversation truly does not begin.
Oh, I love that.
It just was like,
I love that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that was divinely guided. And so what do you know? What Danna and I are not plant experts, but what do you know about plants that Danna and I don't know? What tool do you know that we haven't ever thought about, right? Like, it's so cool when we all come together and we share this. So, Danna, let's talk about one more tool, because the way you and I talk, we usually take 5 minutes to talk about a tool. So what other tools?
So, nature is great. Just to add to the nature thing, when you're, what popped into my head is if y'all are meditating, which I've been meditating a lot more since last probably fall or winter, and so I'm still meditating, and it's a great grounding tool for me. But see, when you're meditating too, and you can add in visualization, like visualize nature in your meditations and ask for it to contribute to you, right? Like bring that into the quantum entanglement and allow nature to contribute, even if you aren't outside, right? Imagine whatever it is, your favorite walk, your last vacation, wherever that is. I mean, this is what nature is, to me, is asking for. Like the earth wants us to be present with it and recognize it and acknowledge it and use it in this way. So I invite people to add even a 5-minute, 10-minute meditation to their day and bring in nature and let it calm you and soothe you and contribute to your energetic healing as well as your physical healing. Cool.
So how do you meditate, Danna? What's a really quick thing that you do when you meditate?
I'll just, we talked about Abraham Hicks earlier, so I'll give another shout out to Abraham Hicks. If you really want something easy, Google on YouTube the general well-being meditation. It's 15 minutes. It's on YouTube. It's guided. She has a beautiful voice. And again, it's a general well-being one, and I like the guided meditations because I'm a head tripper, so my brain goes. So it's really helpful for me. So I would highly recommend that one. It's a great.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do when I meditate is I like to meditate when I'm walking, when I'm doing dishes, when I'm folding laundry. I'm more of I'm going to call it like an active meditator, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am not great at sitting still. My mind is going like crazy, and it was actually creating a lot of pain for me to meditate, to try to sit still and meditate, and I started to resent it, which was crazy. And so I needed to find a way that it was actually, I knew that I was meditating. I knew that I was slowing things down and coming back to center. And these are some of the things that I do. Even if you were like dusting or maybe gently cleaning a tub. Like you can imagine how into a rhythm, just a lovely, gentle rhythm, and it's really about becoming present. It's not about achieving some pie in the sky energy. It's really about calming your system and becoming present. And you can do that through active meditation. I don't know if I just created that word or if it's already out there, but there you go.
But I love that, Christine, because you and I, we're different, right? And that's what I want people to walk away with is trust you, whatever your intuition or whatever pops for you, whatever pieces of this, because we all are so different, and the core element being, like, calm your nervous system. And we don't have no time to go into all of that, but calming and healing your nervous system is the key, I believe, from everything I've read in all of my trainings, to changing everything. So whatever it is that pops for you to contribute to that calmness and healing and generation, like that strong foundation of your nervous system, is what will continue to create amazing health and well-being for every other part of you.
Right. And no matter what's going on in the world, when you are able to get to a calm space, at least once a day, you will be able to ride whatever wave is going on. So we're ending our show in just a couple of seconds. Please stay tuned. We've got another fabulous show coming up with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, and she's going to be talking about getting out of anger and fear. You can always come back and connect with us Monday and Wednesdays here on the Water Cooler Conversation. We'll be here as long as you need us to be here until we're not needed anymore. Until then, please take really good care of yourselves. Have some fun. Connect with nature. Connect with a great friend. And thanks for being here. Take care. Bye, Danna. Thanks for being here.
Take care. Bye, Christine.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us around the water cooler today for our conversation here on the Inspired Choices Network. Connection and support for the reality of today and the gift of tomorrow. Be sure to join one of our other guest hosts on Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, here at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. As always, we look forward to sharing more wisdom, encouragement, inspiration,